In 1981, in a village in Anhui Province, a 15-year-old boy lost his mother. His father had died 2 years earlier. There was no money, no safety net, no clear way forward. That teenager went on to found BYD, the company that outsold Tesla and shifted the balance of the global auto industry. His name is Wang Chuanfu, and outside China, almost nobody knows how it happened. Wang was born in 1966 in Wuwei, a farming county in Anhui Province that was then one of the poorest regions in eastern China. He grew up as one of 8 children in a household dictated by physical labor. When Wang was 13, his father, a carpenter, died after a long illness. 2 years later, his mother collapsed in the fields and passed away. With no parents, the household faced severe destitution. To keep the youngest boy in school, his siblings stepped in. His older sister sacrificed her marriage engagement, selling her dowry earrings for basic provisions. His 18-year-old brother quit school to take manual labor jobs, sending his meager wages home for Wang's books. Wang's adolescence was defined by hunger and field work, turning his early life into a quiet test of endurance. In 1983, Wang entered Central South University in Changsha, majoring in metallurgical physical chemistry. This specialized field focused on the molecular properties of metals. After graduating in 1987, he moved to the capital, earning a master's degree at the Beijing General Research Institute of Non-Ferrous Metals by 1990. He stayed at the state-run institute, researching battery materials and rising to deputy director in his late 20s. This academic grounding gave Wang a deep, molecular-level understanding of nickel and lithium chemistry. When he eventually turned to business, his strategy relied entirely on his expertise as a scientist who knew how to store energy. In February 1995, Wang left his secure government job and moved south to Shenzhen, the heart of China's economic reforms. He had no personal wealth to launch a business, so he turned to his cousin, a banking professional named Lu Xiangyang. Lu loaned him approximately 2.5 million yuan, a massive leap of faith that served as the seed capital for a new venture. Wang named the company BYD, an acronym for Build Your Dreams, and set up a modest workshop in the Bao'an district with just over 20 workers. Rather than buying expensive automated machinery like his Japanese competitors, Wang designed a labor-intensive assembly process. His workers hand-assembled nickel-cadmium batteries for mobile phones. This relentless focus on cost engineering and labor cost arbitrage allowed BYD to produce batteries at a third of the price of established giants like Sanyo and Sony. Within 5 years, this pricing advantage caught the attention of global electronics leaders. Motorola and Nokia signed on as major clients, transforming Wang's obscure startup into a critical global supplier. By relying on human coordination instead of costly automated production lines, the young scientist had built a highly profitable, repeatable manufacturing model that undercut the global market. In January 2003, Wang pivoted the company into the automotive industry by acquiring a struggling, state-owned car maker called Qinchuan Automobile for roughly 269 million Hong Kong dollars. The acquisition gave the company a licensed assembly line, but the market's reaction was immediate and hostile. Investors, seeing no synergy between cell phones and heavy manufacturing, panicked. BYD's stock plummeted nearly 20% in a single day. But Wang saw a clear engineering logic that the public missed. To him, an electric car was simply a battery on wheels. Since the battery was the most expensive part of an electric vehicle, owning the chemistry meant owning the cost structure. Instead of outsourcing to external suppliers, BYD spent the next decade quietly building its own industrial ecosystem. The company constructed cell manufacturing plants, developed its own power electronics, and established its own semiconductor fabs. This deep, vertical integration became BYD's core operating philosophy, shielding it from supply chain shocks. It was a massive capital risk, but it ensured that almost every critical component of the vehicle would be designed, engineered, and manufactured in-house. In September 2008, this capital-heavy strategy attracted the world's most cautious investment firm. Berkshire Hathaway bought approximately 10% of BYD for $230 million. The move was highly unusual, as Warren Buffett famously avoided foreign tech companies. But his partner, Charlie Munger, championed the deal, comparing Wang to a mix of Thomas Edison and Jack Welch. For a founder who once relied on his siblings' sacrifice to buy school books, the endorsement provided undeniable validation. It proved to a skeptical Wall Street that BYD's self-contained manufacturing model was a viable threat, not an eccentric risk. Over the next 15 years, that initial position surged in value to several billion dollars, firmly anchoring BYD's rise from a domestic experiment to a legitimate player in global industrial power. In March 2020, BYD launched the Blade battery, a redesigned lithium iron phosphate pack that looked like a series of long, thin metal blades. While conventional electric vehicle batteries risk catching fire if punctured, the Blade layout survived extreme nail penetration tests without emitting smoke or flames. By using cheaper, abundant iron and phosphate instead of costly nickel and cobalt, Wang dramatically cut production costs. At the same time, his engineers packed the cells so tightly that they overcame the traditional range limitations of iron-based chemistry. This safety and cost advantage turned BYD from a self-contained manufacturer into a critical supplier for the entire automotive industry. Rival automakers quickly noticed. Within 2 years, Tesla began installing these exact batteries in its European Model Y, while Toyota and Ford sought partnerships to access BYD's manufacturing capacity. Wang was no longer just building his own cars, he was powering the fleets of his biggest global competitors. By opening his proprietary tech to the world, he secured a massive new revenue stream that made his own vehicles almost impossible to undercut. In the final quarter of 2023, the global automotive balance of power shifted. For the first time, BYD delivered more fully electric vehicles than Tesla, handing its American rival a historic quarterly sales defeat. By 2024, Wang's company was officially the largest manufacturer of new energy vehicles on Earth. Today, BYD operates more than 30 massive factories and employs over 700,000 people. The scale is immense, with the company now selling more vehicles in a single quarter than traditional giants like Ford or General Motors. It is the ultimate proof point for a strategy that many Wall Street analysts initially dismissed. The boy from rural Anhui, who once relied on his brother's manual labor just to stay in school, now runs one of the largest industrial operations in human history. His decades-long gamble on vertical integration didn't just pay off. It completely redrew the map of global manufacturing. Today, this model serves as the blueprint for Chinese industrial policy. It is a system where China now controls roughly 60% of global electric vehicle production and over 75% of the world's battery manufacturing capacity. Yet, at the center of this massive shift sits the same quiet engineer. Wang remains chairman of BYD, maintaining the same modest habits from his early days. During critical product launches, he still reportedly sleeps on a simple cot in his office. The Orphan who started with nothing has helped reshape the most strategically important industrial sector of our time. Today, global automotive power no longer resides in Detroit or Munich, but in the supply chains forged by an Orphan from Anhui. This shift proves that in the electric transition, legacy counts for little. Real dominance belongs to whoever controls the battery from the ground up.